reached the midway point of the Landholders Driving Change project that we're delivering through NQ Dry Tropics, and we thought it'd be a great concept to actually give some feedback to the community. We're going to 3 properties today, so we'll go to Mount Wickham first. Mount Wickham was our first project work site. It was the first major gully remediation done. And Glen Bowen will be our second one. It's due to start on the 7th of October. And then we'll travel back to Mount Pleasant Station where we're going to do a landscape rehydration project. So we'll look at a couple of different approaches. We'll have some really cool presenters along the way.
I work for Glencore in the environment team. I'm here to give a bit of an overview of morning, talk about a bit of a morning perspective on things like erosion, sediment control and things that are relative to obviously what we're looking at today. It's a good opportunity to share learnings across the industries that we might see in the mining and the rehabilitation space and what the landholders also know about managing their landscape on a broader scale. It's good to get all sort of brains in the room and talk about learnings and ways forward and how to better do things.
This program, the Landholders Driving Change program, is really about trialling a whole range of different options, bringing in ideas grassroots level from people who live in the catchment, work in the catchment and own the land to get their ideas, with consultants who have had lots of experience in mining areas and with scientists to help monitor that process. And together we'll be able to do it faster and better in terms of improving and reducing sediment and nutrient delivery to the Great Barrier Reef.
We've done work out here on tracing before, about 15 years ago, which identified that the Triple B area is unusual. There's something about the soils, the climate, the history of either land use, mining, something's gone on here to mean that it's actually delivering more to the reef. That's what we're trying to work out. But we are getting some good results at Mount Wickham. I think a picture speaks 1,000 words. The brown jar here is off the control site where we have no treatment, and this was towards the end of the wet season at the treatment site. We've done a lot of research in the Burdekin catchment over the last 20 years to try and triage where sediment's coming from. We have limited money, we need to know where to hit it and then how to hit it. So this is an example of some of the trials that are going ahead to understand how we can switch it off.
A peak on the horizon, which you can see here, and we're looking at the erosion pre-treatment. So if you can visualise that, and this is the same scene right now. But this has had one of the most significant reductions in sediment of all the gullies treated so far. So we've not only created some benefits good for the reef, we've created some benefits that are good for the grazier as well. I think the great thing about the LDC is the only way it's going to deliver an outcome for the reef and for landowners is the partnership between landowners, scientists and the people that bring those two together.
From my perspective, I look more into the policies side of things of what's coming down. They're going to put some regulations on us, I guess, in the long run. And I'd like to have an input to try and make sure it's not the wrong policy that'll cripple us across the board. I'd like an even playing field across councils, mining, so we all sort of have the one set of rules for everyone and we all sort of pull together.
Glen Bowen is a family-owned property. It's run in conjunction with 2 other properties. Glen Bowen's 2,300 acres. This is something that's always been an eyesore, as well as something that I didn't know what to do with. Since we moved back, it's always been something we've wanted to do something with.
Griffith University did a real detailed study on how much sediment this is losing. It's in the order of 500 to 900 tonnes per year being delivered to the river, essentially to the reef, of fine sediment. What we're planning here, it's really a lot of reshaping. If you reshape sodic soils and you don't do anything with them, well, they're just going to erode again. So the plan is to do some good treatment on them, a lot of gypsum. We're looking at about 20 tonnes per hectare at the moment, but we're going to do some more soil sampling and decide what we do there.
It's a huge learning curve for me. So to look at the design, I couldn't tell you whether it's a good one or a bad one. That's in the hands of the professionals.
getting ideas from different producers and seeing different environments where the sediment erosion is bigger and smaller than maybe what's on your place, and getting the different ideas and techniques from how they're going to manage that is good, because then you can take that back home and you can analyse it and then maybe put it in action at your place as well. Water quality sampling, like we talked about on the bus, that's a good idea. It gives you a benchmark to work out whether you're going forward or backwards with your sediment retention. So I think, yeah, just getting all the players in one spot and be able to talk to them one-on-one is a magic idea.
The project is a demonstration project, so the Landholders Driving Change project panel basically said, you know, it'd be good to have some demonstration sites. Mount Pleasant were keen on doing something, and project concept was approved in about June this year. This gully got a bit active, so whether it was from the clearing or the grazing management or whatever had happened, but around the 70s became active, and what we think has happened, it's dropped about 1 metre.
So this has probably been the most overgrazed part of Mount Pleasant, bar some standing camps on the creeks and stuff. So yeah, that's the first management fence we got, yeah.
And then the other thing is that these guys are really keen on biodiversity, on all the critters that are growing around the place, and Garlone will talk a bit about, you know, all the stuff they've collected here over the years. They've got masses of photos of things that they've found. So we're going to do a biodiversity survey.
But the profitability from doing what we've done, from getting diversity here of plant species, is fairly significant. And then the other little icing on the cake is all these animals have come back. We've reduced the severity of our droughts, our income is levelled out now. It's not this like, oh, good year, terrible year. When you have those terrible years and your land's in bad condition, it takes a long time to get back to, and I think you never do get quite back. So it's this downward trend. Whereas now we're cruising up here a bit.
It is really good. You come to somewhere like we are here at the moment at Mount Pleasant, you see what can be achieved with a little bit of effort. You know, you can sit at home on your own dunghill and you don't see what everyone else is doing. So yeah, it's really good. I've been to a few places with the NQ Dry Tropics in the last week. We're traditionally cow farmers and we're fast becoming grass farmers, and the new catchphrase is probably soil managers, but there's a lot of science goes behind it, and we're good at what we do and we like to try and get better at it, and yeah, and all those people help. Yeah.
Essentially the objective was to put as many people that were interested together in the right environment, in a safe place, so that they actually had a platform to ask the questions that they've probably been wanting to ask for a long time, and to make sure that we had the right people on board to answer those questions, which is why we involve people from the scientific community and from the designers. So it's all about opening the lines of communication so we can get some clear and concise feedback, so that hopefully going forward we can deliver the project even better in the second half.